Hi, I'm Bunny Cakes and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing another doctor update. So this month I weighed in at the doctor at 226 again, so I'm back up 4 pounds and basically kind of back at my starting weight. Well, not my original starting weight, but the starting weight that the surgeon knew. So I need to lose at least 15 pounds, hopefully by next month. Gonna work on that. I have added to my exercise plan. I was doing my physical therapy routine once a day. I've upped that to twice a day. And tomorrow I'm going to be looking into getting a hula hoop, since it should be close enough to summer that stores will be selling hula hoops. I'm going to try to start out with just like a regular toy hula hoop. So that it'll be easier on me for the bruising and such, and then I am going to try to save up a little bit more money and get me like a 1 pound or 2 pound hula hoop. So my doctor's appointment, it wasn't yesterday, it was the day before yesterday, started out kind of on the wrong step because I forgot to bring my flow sheets with me that I have to have the doctor fill out, and then I have to give them to my surgeon so that they can turn them into my insurance. But the doctor did say that I could bring the flow sheet back, which I did yesterday. I went in first thing in the morning, and because I wasn't able to the day of my doctor's appointment, I had stuff to do. But I took it in the very next day, like right when the office opened, and the doctor wasn't there yet. So I gave it to the girl at the front desk, and she told me she would give it to the doctor and that she would call me, or somebody would call me when it was filled out. But yesterday nobody called, and this morning I called, and I was pretty sure that they had misplaced it because the front desk people at my doctor's office are bad for losing things. They actually lost Pygmy's insurance card after they held on to it for like 5 minutes. Nobody knows where it went to. But so that's what I was thinking happened. It just turned out that wires got crossed and people forgot to call me. So I'm going to go pick that up tomorrow, and I'm still waiting on a response to see if I can email my flow sheets in or if I have to take them all the way over to the surgeon's office, which is quite a ways away. I'm hoping they'll let me email them in, or maybe fax them, and I can find a cheap fax machine. And other than that, the only thing that is holding me up is that I have to get my thyroid tested again because it was high when the surgeon tested it, and then it was low last month when my doctor tested it. And my doctor doesn't want to write the letter of support until he has my thyroid worked out anyway. So I have to have the T4 test again 30 days before surgery, so I have to figure out when my surgery is, and then I'll get that. I also have to have an A1C and another test for that, all within 30 days of my surgery. And I need the letter of support from my doctor, but first, like I said, I have to get my thyroid back in order, which meant that I had to have surprise blood work Tuesday, which was awful, because I hate blood work, and I hate being unprepared for blood work. I was somewhat prepared in that I hadn't eaten anything before I went to the doctor, but that was more me just not liking to eat breakfast than anything else. And so the poor nurse, she tried to get blood out of my arm, and normally blood comes out of my arm just fine, but Tuesday it just didn't want to, so she stuck the needle in my arm and she wiggled it around a little bit, and I told her she had to stop because it was making me sick. And then she wanted to go lower in my arm, and so she had to put a band-aid and gauze on me, which ordinarily wouldn't be a problem, but for me it is because I'm allergic to adhesive, And so now my elbow is itchy. It's not red anymore, but it's still itchy, and I keep scratching it. Um, and so then instead of going in my like forearm to get the blood, what she decided to do, because I had flipped my hand over, she saw some big veins in the back of my hand, and so she put the thing around my arm and got my veins to pop up really good, and she stuck the needle in the back of my hand, and oh my god, that stung so bad. And then she wiggled it. And I'm over here on my phone like I always am when I'm getting blood work, trying not to think about what's going on and scrolling through Twitter and trying to tweet and anything that I can think of to get my mind off of what's going on this arm over here. And it's nearly impossible because she's wiggling it around, and every time she moves it, it stings. And it stings just sitting there. And finally she got in the vein, and the blood started coming very, very slowly. And something happened, and she kind of knocked the needle a little bit, and I almost threw up on her. And she asked me if I wanted her to stop. And I said, no, you've got the needle in there. The blood's coming out. Just go. Just keep doing it. I don't want another stick. And about that time, the blood stopped coming out of the vein. And so I squeezed my fingers on my fist a little bit and got it to come back, start coming out again. And about 5 seconds after that, my vein blew. She noticed that it was going to happen, and she tried to pull the needle, but it just wasn't quick enough, and my vein blew. And so now I have this really gnarly bruise that you can't really see in this lighting. You can see it there a little bit. It looks more like a shadow and a spider bite. And so the back of my hand was swollen really badly most of Tuesday, and yesterday morning it was really bad, and I've been putting ice on it, and my hand has been so achy. And that's actually part of the reason I didn't have a video for yesterday, because I needed to film a new video and then edit the video, what little editing I do, and I just didn't feel like it. So that's where I'm at with that. And then finally, it's taken a month for me to get one of my medicines started again. I was on Tragenta for my diabetes, and my insurance decided they didn't want to cover it anymore, or they didn't super want to cover it, but they were going to. And then a couple months ago, something happened, and somebody other than my regular doctor was writing my prescriptions, and she kept screwing up my prescriptions. She didn't write my Tragenta for like 2 months, so my insurance counted it as me going off of it. And then when my doctor started writing my prescriptions again, they didn't want to cover it anymore. So I had to go to my doctor and tell him, I can't get that anymore. I can't afford it because it's like $200 or something like that. And that may be lowballing. So he called in another medicine, and I can't remember what it was, but it was Januvia, that's what it was. And apparently, well, I couldn't get it. The pharmacy told me that my insurance wouldn't cover it, so I called the doctor back, and the doctor said, well, that's what your insurance told me to write. So I was like, okay, and he sent in another thing to the insurance, and then I went a few days later to the pharmacy because I had been checking there, and they knew my problem, and the pharmacist finally told me that the reason my insurance wouldn't cover it is because there was suddenly a new generic, and then my doctor wrote a prescription for that, and the pharmacy doesn't carry it on a regular basis because it's new and not a lot of people have switched over to it yet. And so I had to wait like 5 or 6 days for them to order it and get it in. And so finally Tuesday, I was able to pick it up. And I actually haven't started it yet because I haven't set it in my box of other medicines, so I keep forgetting. I'm going to start taking it today because I've moved it so I'll remember it. So yeah, there was that. It was a mess. Insurance is awful. And um so yeah, new meds finally um gained back my weight. That's awful. And I'm working out more. I'm going to try to eat less. Um and I'm going to try to get some more exercise. Hopefully, once I get the hula hoop, I'll be able to burn more calories. You're supposed to um be able to burn, like, I think it's like 15 calories a minute, and most people, especially with the lighter hula hoops, hula hoop it like for 15 minutes at a time. I can do that, and hopefully that'll work. And my only other update is I'm going to the chiropractor tomorrow after I do a whole bunch of shopping. So hopefully that will help um, make my back less angry, because where I've upped my exercise again and my back um, isn't happy about that. So I'm having a little more back pain, and my foot keeps going numb. But it's nothing like super serious. It happens frequently, and it's just my sciatic nerve is pinching a little bit. My lower back is bruised, which looks amazing, and my disc, I think, is bulging a little bit. So which I didn't notice until after I had been to the doctor. So the next time I go to the doctor, I'm gonna have to ask him about that. And I also need to ask him if I need to see the thyroid specialist again. So I'm going to say that in this video, so maybe I'll remember it. But that's all I have for this update. It's actually kind of long compared to my last update. I rambled a bit. But that's all I have, so thank you for listening if you listened. And if you didn't, well, I guess you're not here to hear me say this. Thank you for watching, and remember to be strong, smile when you can, and always take care of yourself. And remember to like the video and subscribe and hit the notification bell. And I will have a link to subscribe to my channel here, a link to my booktube channel over here. I'm getting ready to be doing a lot of fun stuff with that channel soon. And there should be a selection of videos over here that you'll probably like if you haven't seen them already.